All right, ladies, welcome to Convert More Clients. I am so excited for today's session. We are going to be going through the sacred sales system and how you can book amazing calls, show up so well that you just naturally go through this like feminine approach to your calls, and it ends up being a very natural progression to how can I work with you. So before we get started, I would love to do a quick recap of what today is going to cover. Today is day 3 of Convert More Clients, and we are talking about calls that convert. So we've gone through a bit of a process to get to today. We've looked at our premium clients, what they're looking to purchase, how they buy, and what their mindset is. And then we've also looked at the Sacred Sales Method, which is a high value customized questionnaire that brings them into your world, gathers great information, and has them ready to book a call with you. And then today we are covering what do you do now? How do you transition from this questionnaire to a call and make it really a beautiful experience? So what we will cover during this program of 5 days is looking at making sure that you have packaged up your brilliance and you have premium offers ready to go. This is the premium offer selling strategy. And I want you to really think about the idea that these calls can be a lot of fun for you. There's a whole sacred sales system we have built, we have mastered, and we implement this with our clients to help them sort of really understand that the sales process is so much more valuable when you have someone on a call, and you can definitely book a few calls a week and convert your clients really easily. So the idea is that you want to also have these sales calls booked while you sleep. So we need to think about a system that allows people to opt in to your free lead magnet, and then the obvious next step is a call with you. So we're really fast tracking that journey to booking calls. So you wake up to calls in your calendar with premium clients who are ready to hear about how you can help them further. So this is premium client targeting. It's really the only sort of like magnetizing those clients who are ready to take some steps first. And so you really are setting in place this like pre-qualifying process and building an amazing customer journey. So before we get started, if you have not been in our world before, I'd love to just introduce Magnetized Soul. My name is Kerry Darson, and I absolutely am one of the co-founders of Magnetized Soul. Julie and I love to support female entrepreneurs to, build amazing businesses, to scale, and to also honor their value. So we do focus a lot on high ticket offers and helping you scale a business with premium clients. And it's really, really important for us that we help you to really understand how easy it can be to use this like feminine approach. We love bringing in that soulful experience and that deeper connection so that you build this great trust with your audience. And for us, business can be simple. This is about simplifying. It's the art of simplification in your business. Looking at everything that you do not need to do and just putting in place a system that you can replicate over time. So we're building out your sacred sales system during this workshop. And today we're going to be talking about the call. Amazing. All right. So the sacred sales strategy. So we are going to actually show you and give you lots of examples today of what a sacred sales strategy looks like. For us, we've built this over time and really implemented it with each of our clients and fine-tuned the system. And now it works really, really well. We have clients start with us implement the calls and the quiz system, and within a month, they're closing high ticket clients. So it's really a great system for you to look at and to implement in your business, especially if you're looking to scale and have this legacy business. So we focus on like a legacy model where you really are sort of building out your high ticket offer system and offer suites and really focusing on calling in these champagne clients. So you've got your high ticket offer, you would by now have your quiz and be fairly confident in what that quiz looks like, who you are speaking to, and what sort of pain points you want to understand from your prospects. And then you want to magnetize them on a sales call. So there should be a reasonable link between someone taking this questionnaire and the sales call. So this is a very important connection here we're going to be diving into today. Why should someone who's taken the time to fill out a questionnaire book a call with you? And then on the call, how do you get to step 4, the sacred sale? So the sales process we've taken you through is this attraction with premium offers, being so clear on who you're calling in, being aligned with how you want to attract these clients, what the customer journey looks like, and then going into nurture. So there's many ways to nurture, but the fastest way to nurture someone is on a one-to-one call. Like, you don't need to have complicated funnels and systems. If someone is ready to purchase, you can nurture them very fast on a personalized experience. And then convert. So convert is all about the sacred call experience, as well as the sales pitch and our strategy for a one-call close. So we'll be going through the sacred call today and starting to tap on the sales pitch, and tomorrow we'll finish off with the one-call close strategy. So I wanted to share a bit of a story with you, because this is one of our beautiful clients who is a one-to-one client with us. She's been working with us solidly for 6 months now. And however, she experienced the sacred sale call with me 12 months ago. And it was really, I wanted to share this with you because it shows you that sometimes you do the call and it takes someone 12 months to be ready to take that next step. But she remembered the call. She remembered that I held space for her in a time when she felt like life was not going ahead. She was struggling. She felt broken. And I really held space with her. I coached her through the mindset and helped her identify what was going on for her and gave her that confidence to believe in herself. It was not a sales call. It was a call to provide some value to help someone get through an experience. I definitely used a lot of like mindset techniques in this session with her and really just helped her see that there was another way forward for her. And then what happened is she manifested the things that she needed in her life to provide some stability. And then 12 months later, she had that stability. She was able to now invest. So you will see Belle and her case studies throughout this presentation as well. So she is now closing 3K offers, filling her group program, hitting her 12K month, and working now on expanding and scaling her model. She has her funnel set up, she has her calls set up, she's systemized that business, and it's really great to see someone who at one point just needed someone to listen to them and help them to now implementing. So that was the very start of that sacred sales experience, the call, and that is now a part of the call, is that listening, that understanding of what someone is going through. And look, you might not have the offer that suits them then, but just the memory of that call is so profound that when she was ready, she reached out. So how can you do this for each of your calls? So the very first number one way to position this sacred sales call, it really is important for you to think about the structure. So I want to go through this because these points are very important. So the first thing is you want to present your call with a very specific name. So it's not a call, it's not a discovery call, it's not a sales call. It is either a 10K roadmap session or a soul mapping, a sacred soul map call, right? So you want to really position your call either around what your signature kind of process is. Think about what the ROI would be for someone on a call. What's the name of your roadmap or your system? And I would love you to pop in the comments if you've thought about what you would be calling your call. Because having something that is obviously maybe an audit or assessment, you need to sweeten up that as well and make it kind of desirable. So for us, we've moved from the Soul Sister questionnaire to the Soul Sister report, okay? And now we have the 10K roadmap audit or call. And so on the call, you get the audit. Okay, so I'd love to see what you've got. Amazing. Okay, so that's very important, naming your call and then also giving clear outcomes. So what is someone going to walk away with? Because you have to, whether or not they're ready to buy, they should walk away from these 15 minutes with you with something of value. And then you also want to make sure you're setting expectations for 15 minutes, right? You cannot promise a customized roadmap for 3 months for them, but you can promise a strategy of hitting 10Ks in 30 to 90 days, okay? So I really want you to think about, okay, the ROI on my coaching is this result, but I'm going to peel it back to what is really realistic for a 15-minute call. And maybe it is not, maybe it's more understanding the steps to take to get to 10Ks. And it's not an individual strategy with detailed actions that are relevant to your stage of business in 15 minutes. So really think about what that looks like. All right, so that's the best way to position the call, is the name and being very clear on the outcome. Now, I'd love to know, what is your call booking calendar looking like currently? How many calls do you have? And what would you love it to look like? So you might already have some calculations of, obviously, what is my what is my charge out rates? What is my offer value? And how many calls do I need to hit my targets? So you probably already have either worked this out, or we can obviously do this today and tomorrow, getting super clear on your goals for how many calls you need. Okay, yes, Rachel, lots of connection calls, but need to focus on this new high ticket offer. Yes, exactly. So when you move to the style of call, it's no longer this getting to know each other and no one really knows what's happening in the call. It is, I've taken the time to do the questionnaire. I kind of get what Rachel is about. I can kind of tell in the questions where she's navigating me to. And then when I get on the call, I might not remember all of the answers I gave, but Rachel, in having someone do the questionnaire, will have the answers, and then you can reflect back. Oh, it was really interesting, your answer to this question. You said this. Tell me a bit more about what that means to you. So I love using the answers to the questions to redirect the call and get straight into useful conversation. And so keep the little connection to a few seconds in the beginning of great, I can see you from here and I can see you at this level. And I can see you need these things. So let's talk about that. And so it gives your call a lot more structure. definitely moving to the style of call will help you step into authority and have a purpose for the call. It's still a connection at the end of the day. It's still this like valuable exchange of, you know, what someone's struggling with and what you can help them with. So it's still that connection. It's that feminine approach, but it's not like you're not starting the call with nothing and then having to ask all the questions in the call. And then the call drags out to 45 minutes to an hour. And there's not really any structure, and the other person gets lost in their story, which is often what happens when you're asking more questions. So I love this because they've done all the answering before the call. So you've saved time. And then you've got this clear structure to progress the call from this like connection of like, I don't even know why we're on this call, to you're on this call because you're going to get these 3 things from me. And it's such a better experience. Okay, great. Anyone else who has had some experience on their calls? Amazing. Okay, that's fine, because the idea now is to get very clear on your metrics and looking at the 10K month and how many calls you need to make. And tomorrow we're going to map out some numbers. So we're going to calculate your conversion rate. We're going to look at how many calls you need to make a week, and how you can improve this like rate of conversion on calls so that you start tracking it, right? You should know that you have 5 calls this week and 1 client signed up. So it's 1 out of 5. That's your conversion rate, right? Or as you get really good, you're having 2 calls and signing up 1 client. That's a 50% conversion rate. So we want you to really sort of work on the mastery of conversion rate improvement so that when you do get someone on a call, you make it the best experience, that if they are the perfect fit and they are ready, or even if they're not quite ready, there is a way that you can help them to take some steps forward. And that's where your offer ascension comes in, right? So Leah, you've got a high ticket offer ready for someone who's ready to like dive in now and get this deep dive, love coaching. And then you've also got this more self-paced experience. So if they're not ready for the deep dive one-to-one yet, you could start them on a bit of a self-paced like starter, and then have them start your deep dive training in a month or in 2 months. So it's like this preparational foundational stage. All right. Yes, Leah, so you do lots of calls. Okay, depends on the lead magnets. Yes, 5 calls in 1 week is a good target to work towards. 3 to 5 will get you enough momentum and traction to start like working out your conversion rate, to having a metric to work towards. Once you have that goal, then you can work backwards of what actions do I need to take to get these calls booked this week. Okay. Yes. So I like to focus on these calls being free in the beginning, because these are, it's like if you charge for this straight away, you might not have developed enough trust for someone to pay you yet. So unless you've got a lot of social proof and a lot of like proof on social media, you might not get across the buyer behavior and those small like steps. I would rather have a client book a call and sell into a high ticket than be worried about like $27 or $97 for the call. Okay. So don't overcomplicate the steps just yet. Maybe when you do get 10 calls a week and you're like, I need to step away and provide more like clarity in the pre-qualifying, then I'll charge for the call. Okay. So it all starts with attracting your champagne clients. So let's move on. So we've used the strategy to convert some pretty high ticket offers. We basically on retreat while I was on holiday in Thailand, took my sales calls and converted 2 high ticket clients on 1 call, painful. So I want you to know that this is possible. You can convert 10K offers on a call, have them pay in full, and have these like special bonuses and reasons why they would do that with you. We've also obviously focused on selling, 5K or 10K offers, packages of 3 or 6 months, because you really don't want to be selling yourself too short and just having the churning of new clients every month. You do want to have this like longer program. And those people that invest with you are invested to do the work too. So here's some results. Like, wouldn't you love to say that you just hit 10Ks in one day, closed a high ticket client? Like Dominique, she had 3K clients pay in full within like 2 weeks of each other. And so she had her 12K month pretty easily. We've got, some beautiful experiences here with our clients who just love the fact that everything's starting to work and they're getting the structure now. So this is Dominique. So I gave some examples of her yesterday where she had a $300 offer, increased it to 3K, and then she was bringing in hot leads with her quiz and then converted her 3 painful clients. And Belle, who also started with no offer, okay, a service-based massage and sort of yoga trainer. Now she has her VIP clients signing up for 3K offers, and she's upgraded her existing past clients. She's filled her group program. Her Soul Alchemy program was filled, and she's running it for the 2nd time now. And now we're looking at scaling her system because it's in place using Facebook ads. So once you've got the system, then you can do a bit more with it to get your beautiful assets into the eyes and world of your avatar. And then Chris as well. So Chris has only been with us for 2 months, and he's had his offer designed, he's had his quiz created, and his sacred sales calls structured. And he sold his first 3K client into his new mentoring package on one call. And it was really, really amazing to see. Now he's able to scale his business out of, tax detailed work into consulting, which is great. So let's just address a little bit of the mindset. So do you hate selling? Because we have to talk about this. We can do whatever we want with the, assets of your business and helping you with all of that stuff. But if you just hate selling, that's going to be a problem. So this is why we love to talk about selling in a different way, that it is a sacred experience. It's a way you connect with others, and you really do have to start falling in love with booking calls. And if you're not quite there yet, then that's okay. But it is the lifeblood of your business, booking calls. And of any income producing activity you should be doing daily is, what do I need to do to book a call today? So if you are really serious about 10xing your impact and scaling your income and having this like beautiful client attraction without coercing people. So the thing is, if you get someone on a connection call and then you switch to a sales conversation, they might not be ready for that because they didn't actually opt into that, right? So we have to be quite clear that our time is for presenting their results, and that if they are a fit, you will talk about an offer. And so we don't want to be wasting our time on like the wrong coercing model of like sneaking in a sales conversation, but rather having it up front from the beginning of, this is a call to provide you value, and if we're a fit, then we'll cover how I can help you. All right, so this is really, really important, the 3 keys. When I think about our Magnetise methods, I wanted to simply try and explain like what we do differently and what are the 3 keys that are most important. So first, only really attracting those premium clients ready for change, because we know our offers are, high value, and we only really want to be working with people who are ready for change. So our copy needs to be attracting them. And then we also listen first. So it's all about the quiz, asking questions, and then listening deeper on a call. Okay. So I find on a call, I usually will pick out 1 or 2 or 3 responses that I really want more information on. Like, why did you choose this? Tell me a bit more about that. And that helps me understand them rather than just like rushing to a result. So that's key 1, the listening. Key 2 is keeping them very focused on 15 minutes, like honoring your time, honoring their time, setting up the call, that it's a high value call. We're going to be going through this process. There is absolutely like no pitch. If you're not ready, I'm not pitching or pressuring anything. So just relax and enjoy this experience, because if they do love everything you've presented, they will ask you first. Okay. I don't normally even go into the offer like pitch or the offer like explanation until I get to that point where they are like, how can you help me? Just tell me how much you are. Like, tell me what your offer is. And they are asking me, and then it's an invitation. So that's key too, is this like, don't pressure or push. So away from those masculine like sales, more into like inviting them in. And key 3, to turning your calls into clients with more ease and to get paid, is to really be ready to go through like a custom experience. I love this. So this is how I close those high ticket clients on one call. Is I listened, I heard where the struggle was, my offer was great, but then I sweetened the deal with, if you sign up today, I'm going to throw in this extra thing that solves that problem. Okay. So for these 2 calls, it was, they weren't confident with sales. So they got a 1-to-1 sacred sales mastery session where we can coach them through this whole method and personalize it to them. And that is what sweetened it enough as well to be like, oh my gosh, you're just solving all of my problems. And I can see I struggle with calls. So I really do want that bonus call, and I'll sign up today for that. Okay. If you don't have those like fast action bonuses or like this customized feeling to the offer, it might just be, it sounds great, but there's not really any reason for me to say yes right now. And I can come back to this, in a month, once I've paid these bills, or, when things quieten down, or when school holidays are finished. So you really want to sort of really make sure that you sweeten the deal with this like one-off bonus to have someone have a hell yes. So let me know if you do have any of these. If you love the 3 keys, I'd love to know. Okay. Let me just answer any questions we've got here. So we've got, yes, these 3 5K, 10K packages. How long are they covered? 3, 6, 9 months. Yeah, so a 3K offer could be like a 1-month intensive, depending on what you're doing. But generally, I like to sort of start with a 3-month program. So I think when you're starting out with new clients and you're charging these higher ticket values, having them feel like they're going on a journey and that there is enough time that doesn't stress them out. So a 3-month package is great. 3Ks, 5Ks, 10K packages, you kind of getting into that very high level deep dive. So I would need to sort of help you structure that and see what makes sense. For example, our 10K packages are 2 sets of 5K like outcomes. So you get your offer and then you get your funnel and you bundle it together for 10Ks. So it's like very tangible. That's why it's a hell yes, because it's like, yes, I get my offer ascension and I get my funnel, and you put them together and they make sense. And then we add in the sweetener, and then we talk about scaling with ads, and it's just like you're building a system. So how can you look at your offer and divide it up into very key milestones that are a bit of an easy yes? So for example, now we are looking at, how can we scale faster? How can we get more leads? How can we, yes, there's organic strategies for sharing your quiz, but how can we like add some more rocket fuel on that and get you into your avatar faster? So we're always coming up with offers to help you get there faster. And it's like this proposal, this like package that you can say yes to. And so I would say when you're starting out, having like a smaller package that then can be added onto another package and another package, that's how you create your customer journey. All right. Yes, Leah, creating urgency on calls. I love that. Urgency, 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 without being too like, oh my God, there's 5 minutes, 4 minutes like ticking down, but you do want urgency. It's like, hey, I have this right now, and I am an action taker. If I feel like this offer is good for me, I could think about it for a week and then forget about it, or something else comes in, or someone else influences me. So I think it's really, really key on a call to have that person make that emotional, empowered decision before they go off and they go and tell their partner, and he has his say, and then the mother has his say, and everyone else is with no foundation is giving opinions. And I think that's the worst thing that you can do, is allow someone to leave the call without making a decision, because then they're opening up the vault to listening to everyone else. And in your call, you should have covered enough to have them understand that you're the expert, that you understand their problem and you can solve it. And then this is the investment. And, let's work out then the money stuff. That's all the final conversation is. Great. Let's just talk about the money. How can we do this? Are you going to pay in full and get this extra bonus? Or do you need a payment plan? What does that look like? How does that work for you? Can we make that happen? And great, payment plan, fantastic. Here's the link. You can make your first payment and let's like celebrate. So I love that. And I think if you don't do that, you are going to find that people go away and they start questioning, ghosting, and just disappearing. And it's so, it happens. And the only way I've found to protect against that is either having 2 calls. Okay. So if they really are of that mindset where I need to think about this, I have to like meditate on this, I'm an energetic person, I'll have to like feel into this, great. Then book your next call. Okay. We'll cover more of this tomorrow, but I want you to, yes, because you asked that question, I really am not pushy. I don't make someone get their credit card out, but if it's just a like, this is a big decision for me, I'm trying to think, is this right? We talk through the objections. Okay, let's just get this out. What are you feeling? What are the objections coming up for you? I love the money talk. I love just saying like, it's just the money. Think about this case study. I'm going to show you. So when someone is sitting on those objections, I like to show and tell. So I pull up client examples. I pull up things we've done. I show them the results. And then it's like, well, obviously then they feel more confident. So you're going to find out what is stopping them buying. Is it social proof, trust? Is there a trust issue here? Is it a trust in me, or is it a trust in themselves? If it's a trust in themselves, how can I explain the parts of the program that will help them feel accountable, help them feel like there's personalized support? And then I'm like adding more information on those key things that they're struggling with. So this is why this inquiry is so important, because you don't want to just like give them the shopping list of your course, because you kind of want to wait and like, what do they need? Do they need information? Do they need support? And then I usually will laser in on those parts of the course and focus on the buyer behavior, like what they need. I hope this helps you. Yes, Leah. Yes. So closing big ticket offers sometimes does require 2 calls, and that's fine. But you really want to sort of end the first call, booking the next call the next day or the day after. So you want to sort of like, great, think about it overnight. Let's book tomorrow at the same time, and I'll see you. And then let's go through any questions. The clients who are knowledge will come with questions. They'll be like, okay, so I've thought about this offer and I've got these questions. So tick through these questions. If you can answer all of those, then I'm ready to buy. So that's a good way. A 2-call close happens as well for them to sort of like decide, but they commit on the first call to show up for the second call. It's not sending them an email with information to think about it and then they never book again. If they don't show up, then they're just not your client. Not right now, something happened, not your problem. This is why the number of calls is really important, that you get the metrics so it's not such a big issue when someone just disappears. So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. All right. So we've gone through these steps. So we've got the quiz, we're setting up the call, and then the premium close. So I'm going to actually take you through some examples now. So we have, this is for our call. Now, this is what you would want to do is say, book a call. We're going to go over these 3 things. So see how specific ours is. We're going to look at the biggest blocks and bottlenecks that are keeping you from scaling, which is all the pain points, right? We're going to lay out a step-by-step action plan to your next 10K. Okay, tangible. That's great. It's a roadmap. It's a step-by-step. It's a blueprint. Okay. This is a mindset thing that's being tackled, like what's stopping you. We're going to find that out. There's a step-by-step plan. And then we're going to give you the next 3 things you need, or the top strategies that have taken our clients from hardly any leads to 10K months. Okay. So then we're going to give you the strategy. Let's see how this is now positioning the signature system. Yeah, very short and sweet. So have a go at scripting your calls and those 3 steps. And then, you know, create a graphic, have it be simple. We've got the 10K roadmap session. We know it's free. We know it's 15 minutes. This is, you know, the pitch or the social media, you know, like call to action, setting up authority, putting in some of those keywords of results. And so then are you next, right? So if you can get to that point, you can start getting some calls booked. Now let's have a look at what it looks like on these calls. So the first thing, just to come back to that mindset, is I want you to just know that there are champagne clients out there. They're everywhere, right? They're waiting for you. And you just have to be this like vibrational match to them in your content, in the way you show up, in your branding, and how you show up on the call itself. And then with the systemized, you know, customer journey that you're building, you're going to be taking them on this beautiful experience to build a relationship and create that alignment. So when it comes to making a decision whether you are the fit, they've already ticked off the confidence in you. They love what you're about, and they understand, maybe even trust themselves because they've done the questionnaire and they've got some results. You've told them how far they are along the journey, so they can see they've made some headway. And then the sales conversation is just really like a decision of what option I should choose today. And so I want you to see how the system is really breaking out that like high profile, like high pitched sales call into a journey. And it's building the trust along the way. So what's not working? If you're not booking calls, then maybe your content isn't magnetic. Maybe you are writing to an avatar or speaking to someone who's not change ready. So you've got to be really focused on having, once you've got your call and your high ticket offer, flowing all of that brilliance and juiciness into your content. So you're connecting with your content, getting someone to take that quiz. Then you are now leading with value, and you're not taking too long to lose leads, because you're gathering the leads, you're jumping on calls, and you're not adding more work either, because now you're dropping all the other stuff that hasn't been working. Okay. Honestly, if you can just stop everything you're doing and do this instead, right? Like sometimes we have to come back to the drawing board and say, well, what I've been doing has not been working. So let's just drop all those balls, right? And let's pick up this simple system that does work. And it's so simple that I can do this. I can book these calls with the one lead magnet. So Leah, one lead magnet, one system, one call. And that's all you focus on. And all your content goes to this value call. So every piece of content now is leading them to like, what is my love code? Like, I want to know. And then in the quiz, they get to unpack a bit. And then on the call, they find out. So you've got to kind of like put the carrot out there on your social media, but you really have to be so laser focused here. To book these 3 to 5 calls, you want people taking action. You want like 10, 15, 20 people filling out their quiz, right? We found our metrics were like 50% would book the call and 50% were just like taking the quiz and doing their own thing. So if you work backwards, if I need 5 calls booked, I need at least 10 people doing my quiz or more. So then a quiz is a pretty enticing lead magnet. So it shouldn't be too hard for you to get out there and like do reels or do social content or put some posts out there to get people to take that quiz. And then you're starting to feed your beautiful sales system. Okay. Any other questions before we go through some examples? We all good? Amazing. Okay. All right. I do have a bit of show and tell today, because I love to just show you different examples of what's been working. And I really am a very visual person, and I find like that really helps. So this slide is great. I'll pop it in the Facebook group for you as well, but it's just basically recapping everything I've said. Is you need to sell every day, and selling every day means booking calls. You've got to focus on your hell yes content. So be really authentic and empowered, and have only speaking to those people ready to invest now. And then sell the call. The call is the thing that you're selling, not the offer, not anything else. You're selling the call because that's the step before the offer. Okay, because you don't know what these people need, what part of the offer suits them. So there's no point selling the offer on social media. You sell the call, and then on the call, you decide what offer is best for them. Okay, so what's not working? Well, you've said you're not getting leads, maybe, not the right leads either. Sales feels hard. So maybe, you're a bit sort of unsure how to get into that sales conversation. There's no consistency in calls. And also having that confidence to navigate those buying triggers. So we're going to cover that tomorrow, those buying triggers, and helping you feel a bit more confident closing on a call. And lastly, you might not have a captivating offer. So this is really important. Like once you've done all the work to get someone on a call, if you have too many offers, too many things, then you kind of lose someone in the overwhelm. Okay. So even though you might have, like we do, a lot of different offers, we normally are presenting and launching one at a time. So we super focus on our content that brings people into the call, and the offer aligns with that. So we're not like all over the place selling all these different things. Okay, so I want you to think about, what is your promotional sequence for the next month or two? What are you selling into? And on this call, it's that offer that is your pitch, that is set up nicely, that you're passionate about, that you want filled, that you want the group program. And again, it comes down to dropping everything else and just putting the other offers for the next quarter or next year and just focusing on this one offer and really getting it done right. Okay. So I want you to imagine that this beautiful quiz you've designed books calls for you. I want you to know what it feels like to wake up to having calls booked in your calendar and be like, oh my God, someone's just like filled out my quiz and I got a call booked. Like, how great is this system? I want you to also understand how great it is that this system positions you as the expert. And you feel so connected on these calls because of that background information that you're able to gather. You're getting their social media links. You've had time to look at their websites. You've done your research. You've customized an experience. So when you turn on that Zoom, you're ready to go. And it's like this great energy. You already kind of know who they are. And it's such a great connection call. But it's not a connection call. Okay, Rachel. It is definitely, there's connection, but there's also a lot of purpose behind it. And you're bouncing out of bed, you're looking at your calls, you're focused on the actions to book more calls. And then you're also feeling very supported to check your data so that you know, I've got so many calls booked, this is my conversion rate, this compares to last month, and you're starting to really look at your metrics. All right, so I think I asked you this earlier, but what is your goal for your sales calls now? Love to know. Yes, Lana, feel free to ask a question. All right. So pop the questions in the chat. I will do a Q&A at the end today. So if you want to stay on, then I'm happy to answer any questions, whether they are about the quiz or anything else. I just want to get through the next few slides so you've got some examples of these sales calls, and then I'm happy to stay on. Awesome. Okay. So the sacred call flow. So I want to take you through what a sacred call feels like and the key steps. So the first is capturing the essence of where the person is on your roadmap. Okay. So you've seen we've got the 8-step roadmap. Often on a call, I'll like go through their answers and be like, oh, okay, I can see they've been in business for a while. They're not hitting their 10Ks. They've got this. They're having trouble here. Okay. So they're probably at step 3. And so then you reconfirm that on the call with them. And then you've got to gauge, okay, I know where you are. Let's work out what's not working. So the key roadblocks, right? And why haven't you overcome these yet? Like, obviously, you've tried different things. What have you tried? And why are they still there for you? Okay. That's just really helping you understand what's really going on for them and deep diving into some of the questions to get clarity, understand them, this listening part. And then you're moving into your solution. So now you have the confidence, okay, I know what you've tried, I know what the problem is. Maybe something you haven't tried is my system, okay? And this is why it works for my clients. This is how it works, and this is the results of it. This is what it looks and feels like. And so you're doing a positioning of the solution for them. And then you're offering a wrap up. Remember, this is 15 minutes. So you're just getting through each of these steps really methodically. And then you're at the end going, great. So I'm going to give you 3 steps forward that will help you move forward. Whether you do it alone or you do it with me. And then I'll position or customize. I've usually done this before the call based on the quiz. Or I kind of will, if I feel it's changed during the call, I will just reflect back to them the 3 things. But often I'll have a slide with the 3 things already mapped out. Okay. All right. Brilliant. So that's really the process. We also have a full sales call script, okay? Because I don't know about you, but I was never taught about sales in the corporate world. And I really did have to learn this when I started my business. And I've done many courses fine-tuning the sales call script so it feels good. It's even unpacked into some key, like actually what you would say, and you can customize it. Okay, so I like to think, yes, you should show up authentically and speak how you speak, but you don't know what you don't know. So if you really are at the beginning stage of like, what does a really good sales script look like? Then if you're a client of ours, you get the sales script. So Leah, I'll send this over to you. You can dive into it and start looking at how that feels and start customizing it. What I love to do with the sales script is to role play it as well, so that you're starting to feel a bit more natural about, okay, what's the beginning sentences feel like? How would I say it? What are the key problems? So one of the key slides is here is just reflecting back a quick summary of the common problems your clients have. Okay, so you could customize that and preset that. I noticed on the first month of calls, I would have the script up and try and follow bits and pieces when I did feel I was sort of getting off track. But now it's just ingrained in me. So it's kind of like learning your speech for school. Once you've got the script, you can customize it and feel more confident and then simplify it down so it feels like a great experience. All right. And so now we take the sales call into a presentation. So I love visual presentations. I use Canva for reports, and we actually created from the questionnaire to the report probably about 10 slides that we would go through on the call. So Rachel, this will help you to keep focused on your calls, because you're starting the call with, great, here's step 1, right? These are the results. And then you're stepping through slides. I don't always use slides. It depends on the person. But I did find that having slides really helped keep the presentation on point. And then I would turn off the slides and go face to camera when I felt like I needed more connection or deep diving. Okay, so I want to take you through some examples of what your sales pitch slides can look like. And like I said, this is something you can start with 5 slides and evolve over time. But it's really important for you to have something to show. So this is the design of our original Soul Sister Report slides. So we started off with a nice front cover. It would have their name on it. We would go through our signature system of why we are different and what elements we bring in to coaching. So we focus on wealth and worth, soul-led vision, and we also get you to the sacred sale. So we kind of cover the system. And then we basically reveal the report. So I like to think of this goes back to the days when I was an auditor. Okay. So obviously reporting to boards on their finances and their, control issues and providing recommendations. I took that corporate way of presenting information to these reports because I just really love the idea of having this like traffic light report. It's very put together. People can see what's good, what needs work. So we developed this report structure and then also unpacked the main components of the quiz into, so obviously green means that person is good on that area. So this person was clear on her mission, great energy, consistency. Wealth was a little bit, needs a bit of work, Amber. And then the sacred sales and the business strategy was red because she didn't really even have a strategy for her business. So this is in 4 slides, really. You could do that and present your outcome. And I'm also going to share with you, this is Chris. So Chris has been going through our system and we've designed up his sales call slides. So he has very similar looking slides. He also has his tax audit and he rates, gives someone a tax game plan. Okay, so he also goes through the different parts of the questionnaire and has his signature system. And yeah, so you can see a little bit more here, like what to expect on the call, your tax gap analysis, why this program is for you. And then he goes through tax strategy, wealth, and cash flow, and another area. Okay. So that's his tax review audit call. Okay. Now I'll show you. Yeah, so when you're opening your sales call, you've got to be really clear with what to expect. So I want you to think about like, what is the first thing I want to start with? Usually setting up a story or explaining your mission, why you do what you do is a really good way to start the conversation. Share your story, ask them to share their story. Then you're moving into the quiz analysis. So show that you've actually looked at the quiz results and you're starting to deep dive into this results assessment. So for Chris, this is his levels. He looks at those 3 things. So he's talking through that. And then the next area is you're pulling out these like problems, talking about like, here's an obstacle I can see, and this is how you can overcome it. Here's another obstacle. This is how you can overcome it. And really focusing on, I don't like to make them feel that they can't get there without me. Okay. I just prefer to make it feel like it's faster and it's more simple and you get there faster basically. Or you can go and take as long as most other people take to get to the end result eventually. Okay. The other great thing you can include in your sales pitches, which I'm not sure if you've done that yet, is success stories. So maybe even playing a video of one of your testimonials. You can have, an unpack of your testimonials. So the problem that the person came to you with, and then the solution you helped them with. So you're doing that transformational journey. And if you have testimonials, it might take a bit of work for you to sort of unpack, okay, well, you have their words, but the next step is like, what was the problem? What's the solution? I like to bring up case studies and testimonials that match the person. So if you have 3 or 4, just open up the slide that is aligned with that one person. I normally only share one. Or you could have this, example of what your clients say, show the social proof. And then you also want to have your offer ready. So productizing your offer is a really good way of having someone say yes to you. Now, it doesn't have to be anything too complicated. As you can see, it's just a bit of a layout. You can create some beautiful essence of the different like processes you take them through, maybe roadmaps, some photos, some meditations, and add them into an offer slide so it becomes something tangible. You can do the same thing for your call. Okay, so this is our client, Kate. She's a signature stylist, and she has taken her style aesthetic quiz to a call. And on the call, she's productized the call. Okay, so she's got all the slides, she's got it laid out, and she's very clear that on the call, they will find out what their signature style is. And so the call goes through the questions, and then she will give them their signature style that matches them. So that's a great outcome for someone. If you are looking for a stylist, like she's offering such a great, fast-paced way to assess themselves. And then, of course, that naturally leads her into, well, now we know your signature style. Let's create your capsule wardrobe in that style for the next season. And then that leads into her offer. Okay, so I want you to think about how this process can work so that when you get to the end point like this, when someone's had that wow factor, that it's just a natural, conversation now into this is the results I can offer. So again, we want to make sure that we're very clear on the results of working with us, the return on investment. So if someone invests, what is the ROI? And I want you to really think about 3 return on investments that you have either, got for yourself or for clients that you can go over, because this is part of the buying triggers now, because they're like, great, I feel great, it feels amazing. Hold on, if it's a $3,000 investment, what can you promise? Okay, so in ROIs, you're showing that someone else who's been through the system has achieved these results by doing this, work. And often how long, and, try and sort of have a bit of a range of where people are. So as we wrap up today, I just want to say that if you still haven't booked in your 10K roadmap session, we are offering you this as a special bonus for the masterclass too. So if you want that clarity in your quiz or, your offer suite to make sure that you can get the most out of this, we are doing this as well, where you can come and get some support and help yourself, get that clarity to be able to implement the system. The idea is that you get to a certain point where you're like, I'm ready to unlock this engine. And then, of course, if you are looking for support, more than happy to explain different ways to work with us. But the whole call is focused on you getting your answers. Okay, more than happy to jump on a call with you. And Rachel as well, if you want another call now that you've got a bit more clarity, more than happy to do that. Because for us, we want to see you implement, we want to see you get results, book calls, because when you book calls and you monetize, then you have that cash flow to be able to invest in more in your business, to systemize and scale it. And often, if you don't have these systems, we're going to need to put them in place as soon as possible so that you can get that traction happening. Okay. And sometimes it can take 1 to 2 months to get this in place, because there's that level of, I'm not clear in my offer, so we need to come back to the offer. And then I'm not quite clear on my audience. Okay, let's fine tune that. Now I need to look at testimonials. So you can see how there's lots of different parts that come together to build the sales system. So there might be homework to go and gather testimonials. There might be things you need to clarify exactly, like what is my outcome for this program, and how am I going to deliver it in different ways, so that if someone wants to run, I think Lina, you've asked this before, if someone wants to run, what does that offer look like? And if someone wants a working with me at a slower pace, what does that look like? And so, Leah, we've unpacked different options for your offer ascension. So you've got the different levels. It's still the same process and system, but delivered in a different way. And that simplifies your business because you don't have to now go and create different offers for different people all the time. You have one avatar, one main focused offer, but different ways to work with you. Okay, amazing. So I'm going to go to questions now. Let me know if you have any more questions, because I would love to unpack and do some detail with you now. Otherwise, feel free to join us tomorrow, because we are going to be going through those nitty-gritty details on the sales calls and helping you close with confidence and navigating that sort of money conversation. All right. Leah, amazing, brilliant, awesome. So if